This is Umar Ahmed for IFL TV in association with MTK Global. With me is Mr. Tommy Fury. Well, I don't think I've ever heard someone do 55 quid on a Nando's before.
Yeah, it's I can't even talk at the minute. It's even it's madness for me to even look at those bags and say that was all me, because you can see the list there. It's going on and on and on. I've had absolutely everything, but 12 weeks of hard training and dieting, it was well worth the wait.
Okay. Well, obviously yesterday was a panic around this hotel because the main event got pulled. Unfortunately, Leon Woodstock tested positive for COVID-19. So what was going through your mind, Tommy?
I'll be honest, I thought it was off. I thought the show was completely going to get scrapped because, you know, the main event was out and there's not that many title fights on there. So I thought, you know what, save it for another day. But, you know, I was going to be upset if it was off because I've put a lot into this camp. I've trained, this is the best camp I've ever had. Sparring wise, you know, strength, condition, everything has gone to the letter. So I was prepared for it, but again, I didn't lose focus. I kept my mind on track, and you hope for the best. And then, you know, a couple of hours after the announcement, we got word that the show was still going to be on. So, you know, it's a huge boost to be still boxing Saturday night.
How many hours was there were you uncertain?
There was a good 3-4 hours where, you know, I was uncertain. I thought, is it going to go ahead? Is it not? And the vibe that he was getting off everyone around the hotel was like sort of heads down, you know, hoping for the best. So I thought, yeah, it's off, but. You know, I'll just come back in my room. I thought, you know, the job doesn't change. You know, it's not over till the fat lady sings, as they say. So I just, I sat on the bed and just waited patiently. And, you know, big ups to BT for keeping the show going.
Definitely, BT and Frank Warren deserve credit for putting this on.
Yeah.
With everything that's gone on. But your dad was relieved as well.
Yeah, definitely, because it's not just the fighters that put in the hard work and sacrifice everything. You know, it's the trainers too. You know, the trainers are in the gym with you 2-3 times a day as well. So. It's a busy schedule for everybody, but I'm just thankful that for all the other fighters on the card, they still get to go in there and put all the training into action, because, you know, that's the main thing. You know, fight night is what we train for. And I know anybody training, you know, 2-3 months at a time, hard and taking shots in the gym, not getting to fight at the end of it is just the worst case scenario.
Did Morecambe kind of turn into like Marbella in the last 3 or 4 weeks? You're so tan.
Yeah, I mean...
Just picking this back up with Tommy Fury. Yeah, I was going to say... have you been in Marbella or Morecambe?
No, this is what happens when your girlfriend owns a fake tan company, everybody. Big shout out to Filtered by Molly May. As you can see, it's put the good colour on me. I do not need Dubai, I don't need America, I don't need anywhere. I got it right at home in Manchester.
There we have it. Tommy, of course, we know you attract large audiences for obvious reasons. How do you kind of keep the boxing fans in tuned and on your journey? Because obviously these fights, we know what we're expecting. So what would you say to boxing fans watching this?
You know, for the boxing fans tuning in Saturday night, you know, it's going to be a good card. You've got a lot of great, you know, prospects on the card. There is some good fights on the card there, and some debutants. So you've got some to watch out for. You know, good title fights going on. Myself, this is my 5th pro fight. So yeah, I'm coming with a better package than I ever have done. You know, I've trained hard for this. I've worked on a good amount of things in the gym. And yeah, just tuning, because it's going to be a great show. You know, in myself, I can promise you one thing. There's always going to be fireworks, because, like I said in an interview prior to this, I said, you know, people don't tune in and watch the TV for 4 hours on a boxing station to see, you know, a ball contest, someone tip around for 12 rounds. They come and see blood and guts and action. And that's what I try to bring every time I get in the ring. You know, and that's just the way it is.
What I was more referring to, perhaps, Tommy, was on your journey at the moment, because obviously you're so short in, you're going to have these kind of fights. Everyone has to.
Yeah.
But what would you say to the boxing public who may be getting a little bit frustrated, want to see you in more competitive fights?
It's just naturally going to come, because obviously the profile that I've got now, you know, I've got more eyes on the boxing, and more eyes that are not necessarily, you know, boxing people. You know, there's a lot of people going out there criticising my fights that hasn't even watched a lick of, you know, boxing. They've never watched it before. But just because I've gone on a TV show, done well for myself, you know, there's a lot of jealousy in the world. And, you know, you don't see, you know, Floyd Mayweather, all these type of people, you know, the greats, Mike Tyson. Look what he was fighting at the start of his career. You know, this is how everybody does it. You look at every great champion, or any boxer in general, this is what they're doing at the start of the career. It's called experience building. And even people who's won, you know, Olympic gold medals have these fights. I've not won an ABA title. I've not won nothing as amateur. I had 10 amateur fights as a junior, and then I've turned up professional with 4 pro fights. So that, to me, speaks very inexperienced. But that's why I'm getting these fights, to build my experience, get more rounds in the ring, and then when we're ready, we'll step up. I mean, there's no rush for me. I'm 21 years old. I've got the world at my feet. and we're coming along nice and steady. And I've got the right team behind me and my dad, and he ain't gonna rush me because my dad's been in the game for 40 years, so he knows what he's looking at, and so does Tyson, so does everybody. So I don't care what anybody's saying about my fights. I know I'm just gonna leave it in the hands of my dad, and we'll get there slowly but surely.
You said earlier you've had the best camp just now under your dad. How much has Sugar Hill kind of played a role in that as well?
Yeah, Sugar's been good. From when I've had the opportunity to train with Sugar, that was more sort of my last fight. I just went with it with Sugar. Sugar's a great, he's a great guy. He's a great trainer. Him and Tyson are a perfect match, and you can definitely see why Tyson's got him on board. The man's just he's a boxer tricks. He's a boxer of knowledge. And the time that I had down there with him, it was very valuable to me, and I've snatched onto it. I'm like a sponge when I go to these places. I always take in everything that everybody's telling me, open up, let it in, lock it in, and carry it with me down the road, because at the end of the day, there's always something you can learn off everybody.
Well, listen, everyone tune in BT Sports tomorrow night to hopefully see another Tommy Fury explosive knockout. I'm sure it will be. Yeah,
definitely. I mean, that's what I've been training for. I haven't put myself through hell for 12 weeks for nothing. I'm going to go in there, get the job done, and look good doing it. That's the plan. And definitely tune in, because it's going to be fireworks.
Well, before you go and finish the rest of that Nando's and get some sleep,
I
do like to get your thoughts on the light heavyweight scene, and obviously your brother. We'll start with the light heavyweight scene. I haven't spoke to you since Anthony Yarde's lost to Lyndon Arthur.
Yeah.
What did you think about that fight?
You ask anybody that I asked about the fight, I always said Lyndon would win, because Lyndon's just got that more in his boxing ability. Lyndon's a great boxer. He's got the amateur pedigree with him. Sorry, mate.
Right.
Lyndon's got that amateur pedigree with him. He's done well as an amateur and as a professional, really well. He's got a great jab, a great uppercut, a great variety, and jabs win fights. People don't realise that. They think it's all about smashing and brawling and all that, but one jab can win the whole fight, and that's exactly what you see in that fight. Yarde just couldn't get past the jab. Lyndon done a terrific job, and congrats to him, and hopefully he can score a world title shot, in the near future.
Yeah, that's what they're looking at, or perhaps there might be a rematch. You see it the same way?
Yeah, to be fair, I do, because Lyndon's a young, hungry fighter. Yarde's the same, obviously, because he wouldn't be in boxing if he wasn't. Yarde is still hungry, but I just think, Lyndon's got that more ability in the boxing ring. Yarde's strong and he's powerful and he's good, but all that, you need a bit more than that to be strong, fast and powerful. You need the IQ to get around the jab, and if you just simply can't get around the jab, then there's no hope for you, is there? But if they do have a rematch, it'd be a great fight. I'll be tuning in. But yeah, I think if they was to have a rematch, Yarde just needs a slight bit more in his game. He can't just walk forward in someone who's got a great jab. You need to slip and slide, throw plenty of shots, and that's just what he wasn't doing in the last fight.
I'm sure you saw the other day that Callum Johnson signed with Frank Warren. Do you rate Callum as a fighter?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, highly. I watched him way back when he knocked out Frank Buglioni in about 30 seconds or something like that. It takes a good man to do that. Callum Johnson, he's fought for a world title. I think he's only lost for a world title, hasn't he? Yeah, he's definitely in the top 3 best in Britain, isn't he? You've got to put him up there. And again with him, get a few more fights, and then see if he can get a world title shot himself.
I remember that fight with Beterbiev. He dropped him, didn't he? So
yeah. I mean, it's such a different class. The British class to European and then to world. The world level men, aren't they, for a reason? And I just think these guys, they keep getting knocked back, but I'm sure they'll come again and go again, because that's why they're in the sport. It doesn't matter how many times you get knocked down; it's about getting up again.
Well, this one was a bit of a shock. I spoke to Eddie Hearn last week, and he revealed that it looks like Dimitri Bivol will be boxing Craig Richards. Surprised?
Yes. Do you know what? That's so crazy you mentioned that, because there was an old fella in the hotel down here, and he said to me that Craig Richards' name was linked to someone big, like he was having a big fight. Well, obviously, it's not on BoxRec or anything like that, so I didn't know what it was. But yeah, just hearing now that is a big fight for him. And again, you just got to wish him the best of luck. Craig Richards is a quality operator, but is he just a quality operator at British, and European level? You don't know. World level is a completely different scene. You're messing with, top class men. But again, I'm going to give him the best of luck, and he should just go out there and, roll the dice. That's all you can do.
Very true. Do you watch any of those guys like Beterbiev, Bivol?
Yeah, of course I do. 100%. They're where I want to be. They're the best guys in my division. So when you're striving for the top, you've always got to look at what they're doing. Obviously, I don't think about fighting them. I don't vision myself in there, because at the end of the day, they're world titles, like they're world championship men, and I'm right at the start of my career. I look at them and I see what they're doing. I pick certain things off them and try and add it to my game, and just pick little pieces of the puzzle. I'm like a whiz kid when it comes to boxing. I watch absolutely everybody from any weight class, from any style, whatever. I watch absolutely everybody. And I try and pin whatever they got and put it on me.
And just lastly, we'll talk about the mega fight that we're all looking forward to. We've spoken a million times about how the fight goes itself, etc. So we won't do that. But just a few comments recently. Obviously, Anthony and Tyson weren't too vocal, but they've both spoken recently. Firstly, Anthony said, "I'm the boss. Come see me. There's nowhere to hide. You know where to find me in the Middle East." What do you make of Anthony's comments?
I think it's just all talk. It's hard to take him seriously because at the end of the day, him and Wilder was going back and forth for years. I'm going to fight you. Oh yeah, I'll fight you. This and that, this and that. Tyson gets up after 3 years out. Yeah, no problem, mate. I'll fight you. Deontay Wilder, WBC heavyweight champion of the world, hardest hitting heavyweight there is. Tyson has 2 relatively spars, and then gets in there with him. There's no talking with Tyson. He's proved that time and time again. When Tyson wants to fight, Tyson wants to fight. And in this case, in this super fight, it's not nothing is no one's waiting on Tyson. Everyone's waiting on Joshua because Tyson is out there. Everything Tyson says is true. He's there. He's ready to fight. Tyson doesn't care about anything. He wants to prove that he's the best. Although in my eyes and many others' eyes, he's already proven that. He doesn't need to fight Joshua to do it. But obviously, it's the biggest fight in boxing. And they should just get it on because all the fans want it. And if that's the case, Joshua just needs to sign it, really, doesn't he? Because it ain't us that's waiting on it. It's definitely the ball is in Joshua's court.
Well, you've always said that you're sceptical whether Eddie and Anthony want that fight.
I still don't. I believe they're going to have to take the fight. They've got in a position now where they're going to have to take the fight. They can't run. The public, it's too demanding. It's too much of a demand on the fight. But if you ask me, do they really want the fight? I would say no, because when Joshua fights Tyson, that'll be his bubble burst. Because believe you me, Tyson is no Andy Ruiz Jr. And you might call that a bad performance, not a bad day at the office, what you want. I'm not even comparing that. Tyson is a different beast altogether. Altogether. You've seen him in the first Wilder fight. In the 12th round when he had nothing, he lost 10 stone. Got hit with a right and left hook off the hardest hitting heavyweight there is. He's straight back up on his feet to win the rest of the round. And now, when you see him, I seen him just the other week in training. He's super fit, he's super strong, his sparring is on point. He's training now and has been like he's already in camp for the fight. You just can't shake him. And I just feel sorry for Joshua because I'm sure he's going to put up a great fight. But I just don't see anybody out there coming close to Tyson now.
I mean, Tyson said the same thing recently. He says he believes nothing's progressed since last year when they were in talks. Nothing's actually progressed.
It's sad, really, isn't it? Because let's be honest, we're not looking at any other fight other than that. That is the biggest fight in the world right now. It's the biggest fight that we've seen for the past however many years. They just need to get the priorities straight and listen. There's no more defending your titles against somebody that we don't want to see. There's no more picking these opponents. Get the fight on with Tyson. That's all we have to say because nobody wants to see you fight anybody else. Everyone's seen you knock everybody out now. Let's have the real fight, the mega fight. Tyson, AJ, let's just get it on.
Well, let's hope it happens and all the talking can then stop.
Exactly. I mean, everybody can stop speculating on it. We can either say bang, 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 it's point blank. Sign the contract, let's get it on. The trouble is today in boxing, there's too many stuff that goes on behind the scenes. Oh, I want this first, I want this. Forget all that. So it doesn't matter what you're going to have. When you sign the pen and you sign to fight, you're both going to be in the ring and you're both going to be fighting. So does it really matter what happens in the build-up? I think, Joshua's team are being a bit picky on that from what I've heard. And they just need to, get the priorities straight. Let's get the fight on. Let's stop messing about and trying to prolong it as long as they can.
Going to be some build-up as well, though.
Yeah, me and Dad was saying earlier, the build-up for the fight, it's going to be crazy. It's going to be, it's just going to be something you've never seen before. Because I, myself, have never seen something like this fight in my life or any in the past. Both men are in the prime. They're both from here. They've both got massive following fan base. So it's going to be electric. I know everywhere they go, there's going to be floods of crowds. It's going to be like the Olympics all over again. There'll be huge crowds everywhere they go, and rightly so because they're both good men. They're taking that off to them both. They're both world champions, and they're going to get in there and fight.
I feel like the teams are very contrasting as well in terms of the individuals in the teams.
Yeah, definitely. It's I'm sure Anthony Joshua's team, everyone there, I'll be saying the same things that we're saying. It's just how the way it's going to go. But at the end of the day, there's nothing more you can say other than sign the contract and let's get it on.
Okay, Tommy, appreciate your time here. Enjoy the rest of your Nando's and best of luck for tomorrow night.
I think I'm going to hit the bedroom.
Fair enough. I will catch a word with you after the fight. All right. Thank you.
Perfect. Top man. God bless.